for a while to find a tree like this where it was like still alive somewhat, but I wanted to come outside and read, and I have the coziest little setup. This is my setup and I love it. I have like just been trying to find trees that are just not dead, and it's actually been really hard lately. Also, I hope you guys can hear me because it is windy, and I thought about getting a mic, but I just don't know if I ever will, because I get so like, I don't know, camera shy when I have a mic. Like, I just can't do it. So hopefully you guys can hear me, but the sun is out. It's the perfect day to read. It is, I think, 50 something degrees out right now. It is 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's see what that is in Celsius. I'm like so bad at like the change. Fahrenheit to Celsius would be 12 degrees Celsius. So for anyone who just like doesn't use Fahrenheit, which is like literally the rest of the world. But I want to come outside and read because I know that there aren't too many more days like this. And I also feel like on days where it seems like everything's kind of going wrong, the minute I get outside, life is instantly better. So I want to encourage you, get outside if you haven't already today, because I know you'll feel 10 times better when you do. For me, like getting outside just makes me realize how big the world is and how small my problems are, and like how they really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, and I will be okay. Like we recently this week had our well, last week our dryer broke, so we bought a new dryer, and then now our washer's like kind of conking out, and like my car needs to like go and be serviced. Just like all the things that are like adult things that you don't want to do are all kind of happening at one time. And I feel like I was stressed at one point, and then I literally came outside and I was like, it's fine. Like it's literally fine. Like you will get it fixed, you'll get it figured out. Read your book and relax. And so again, I want to encourage you to do the same. If you haven't gotten outside today, please try it. I try to get outside every single day, even in the winter time, or as it gets colder, because I realize for like my own mental health, it has been a game changer. Also moving my body, like whether that's like walking or just going to the gym or Pilates or whatever, like moving my body has been huge for me. I just do it so often because I notice the difference in like my mind, and like when I start to spiral is usually if I haven't been outside or if I haven't like moved my body or like worked out for the day. But I'm gonna start the book Keep You to Myself by Brianna Dene. I read Spin About You by this author and really loved it. Her writing like pulls you in super fast, and I feel like urban romances to me just like make me want to finish them in one sitting, and that's the kind of book that I want to pick up right now. I read it, Spin About You, I can't remember when I read it. I want to say it was like late last year, I think, and I haven't picked up another book by this author, but the last urban romance that I read was Dirty Kisses like 2 weeks ago, and really enjoyed that one too. And so I feel like this is the perfect book to just like binge in one sitting, because the other book I read by her was. I also would encourage you to read that book because I feel like it's the perfect time to read it. I didn't read that book around Thanksgiving, but I almost wish that I did. At least I don't think I did. Now that I'm like thinking, I'm like, did I read it? I don't think I did, because I think when I was reading it, I was like, that would be the perfect book to read around Thanksgiving because it's set around Thanksgiving. The characters, they all go to like this cabin, and they go to the cabin for the holidays, and while they're there, like one of the like people in the cabin ends up falling in love with someone else. They're kind of like having feelings. I wouldn't say in love, like that's a stretch, but they start having feelings for a guy that's like in this cabin, but obviously they're just there for the holidays. So it is a really nice holiday romance, and then you get like what happens outside of the cabin. It was fun, and it reminded me of like all the times that I've gotten together with my friends for a cabin trip. I do one usually every January or February, with a bunch of my friends, and whenever we go, we just like have fun, we laugh, like we just like really truly relax. And I feel like it's so hard to do sometimes as adults, and you can really feel that in the book. So I want to get those vibes again. I feel like this is going to be a more deep, heartfelt read, which is also what I'm in the mood for. So let's just get into this one. I just finished the first chapter of this and I'm already hooked. Like, I am literally giggling and kicking my feet already. It's about this guy who, honestly, I wish that the guy's named Sonovi. I wish that we knew people's life stories like right off the bat, because I feel like so often in books we'll read like a main character and like something they went through as a kid, and then like it zooms to the future and like we as the reader knows why they're like closed off. We know why they like don't want to let someone in, but like in real life we don't get that, which is just such a reminder that like we need to freaking have empathy for people, because you never know what someone has like been through ever. And this is just like a really good story. So the first chapter, I'm not going to spoil anything, this is obviously a non-spoiler video like always, but Sonovi, he ends up needing like help, and I don't want to like spoil anything, but he needs help from the government. And while he's getting like help, I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like this is like a small thing, but I'm not going to spoil anything. While he's getting help, he ends up kind of like shutting off like his heart to people. Like, he doesn't want to open his heart to anyone because he's been done wrong, and he just is like not really hopeful for the future. I'll say that. And then he, at the end of chapter 1, he ends up saving this girl, because like you fast forward to the future, he ends up saving this girl, and it's so funny because you can already tell that she's gonna be like happy, bubbly, like after he saves her, she's like, oh my god, thank you so much, like I need to repay you. And he's like, no, you don't need to repay me at all. And then she's like, no, I have to. And then she like gets really close to him, and he like kind of looks at her like, why are you up in my space? And she like laughs and is like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was this close to you. And like, she just seems like a bubbly, like happy person, and I love that because I can tell that he is the type who is like having just a hard time opening up, and I feel like she's gonna be the one to open him up. I didn't even read the back of this like recently, so I don't even know what this book is really about. I just know that I read the other book by her and really enjoyed it, so I felt like I would like this one, and I was right. I'm like, you know when you read a book and you can tell you're really gonna like it from the first chapter? That's how I feel about this. Like, I already know I'm gonna like it, which I already knew I liked her writing, which honestly I think is 50% of the battle of like figuring out if you'll like something or not. I'm loving this. So now at the end of chapter 1, she's like, I'm gonna repay you. He's like, I don't want money. And she's like, okay, like I'm gonna repay you and like we can go out to eat. So chapter 2 is starting where they're gonna like go out to eat. And like, he has not had like any connections with people. Like, he's just like been so closed off. So I just love a freaking book where a girl breaks down a guy's like walls, or a guy breaks down a girl's walls. Either anyone breaking down someone's walls, because we all have them, but I feel like it takes the right person to break them down and like make you trust them, and seeing that journey in a book is like one of my absolute favorite things. I woke up this morning and I've been crying because I was scrolling through like Google trying to look for a video that I could not find. And so I was like searching my name and like the video, like, cause I just couldn't, like I was looking looking for a TikTok and I just could not figure out like where it was. So I was like, maybe if I check on Google, it'll like come up. And I don't like search myself, because the last time I was like searching myself, like I found a bunch of like comments where people were talking about how I like look like a man and like I'm ugly, and like talking about my body and like zooming in on like parts of my body and stuff. And like, I do not need that negativity in my life. And I feel like I try so hard to like be positive, but also keep myself in a good headspace, because I just started this like literally for fun. I did not start this for like anything other than that, and it happened to turn to a career, which is great. Like, I used to work in healthcare, and whenever I was in healthcare, I like loved it. I was working with people with special needs, and was like I worked in that field for like 8 years and was loving it. But then I started like doing social media stuff, and I ended up like, you know, being able to turn this into a career. But I was like searching, and I saw this thing that said like Black booktubers, and it had like my name in it. So I like clicked on it, and someone was like, hey, do you have any recs of like Black booktubers to follow? So people are like following or like tagging all these like booktubers videos and like linking who people should follow and stuff. And like someone tagged my video, they tagged Khalila's video, they tagged Mina Reed's, Kimmy Books, like all my favorites, like people who have incredible channels. And someone commented on my video and they made one negative comment about someone else, but all the other ones were like positive. And then like people just started just making a whole thread about just like negative things about me. And like I really try to like keep to myself. Like I don't do anything wild. Like I am just living in freaking Springfield, Illinois. Like I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just like having fun, like posting on the internet. Like someone was like, I had to unfollow her. There's too much PDA with her man and not enough books for me. And then someone else was like, oh, well, Shaughnessy's currently my fave since we have similar taste in books. And then somebody else, they commented and they were like, well, she reads mostly white books, but constantly makes recommendation videos with black books that she says she didn't read. It's weird and performative and she seems really whitewashed. And someone else was like, well, she's got a whole white man. Her content's performative for sure. She needs to be like that black girl on TikTok that got into the hockey drama and admit she doesn't relate to black books. And someone else commented and was like, she's constantly doing videos recommending black booktubers she doesn't watch. And then someone else was like, yeah, I'm not a fan. I tried to get into her, but something fell off. I don't mind if someone prefers a certain demographic or genre of book, but when what you're saying and doing doesn't align, it feels inauthentic. I can't F with that. And someone else, like, these are just literally just all the comments, like, back to back to back. When literally just someone asked, like, do you have black booktubers to, like, follow? And someone else was like, it was wild to me how she would do recommendation videos, but in the same breath admit she didn't read the book. And someone else was like, well, I can remove her recommendation. It was the person who recommended me. And they're like, I don't watch her enough to notice. Every time I've turned her videos on, she has recommendations for black books. I don't take anyone's rec word for word. I get the name of the book and look up reviews. And then they commented like an edit. And they're like, I just realized a lot of the discussions about this lady based on what people are currently reading thread pinned at the top of this forum. Most of the fonts read a variety of genres by a variety of authors. The OP didn't ask for someone who only recommends black books. The OP just, so OP, take this rec if you want to, ignore it if you don't. And someone else was like, they were like commenting all these different bookstagrammers and stuff. And they're like, she comes across very disingenuous to me, in my opinion. And someone else was like, I originally liked Shaughnessy, but now she knows what to say to get views, diverse black authors. She buys books by black authors, but rarely reads them. She recently admitted to having 3 Alexandria House books because several of her subscribers recommended her books, but she still hasn't read them. I feel like she thinks that most black books are too urban for her. I will give it to her. She does donate a lot of new books to free library. And someone else was like, I wish there were more black booktubers who didn't read such mainstream stuff. Funnily enough, Shaughnessy's been recommended to me a lot lately, but I was turned off by the vibe of her channel. Not my thing at all. And then someone else was like, a lot of people on BookTube and Bookstagram donate to free little libraries. I'd be more impressed if she purchased and donated books to schools. But you go to her IG and it's all pics of her white husband and friends. It's clear she doesn't mess with black folks like that. So all the diverse books she refuses to read ain't fooling me. And then someone else was like, it was literally just like, just going on and on and on. Just like, this is a literal thread about me. Like, and then someone else, they were like, this is like from last Tuesday, like somebody commented this. They're like, her last video had me hot. She's talking about how after starting to read historical fiction, she's been doing so much research on the past of black people and how grateful she is for what they did for us today. She just sounded real sheltered and whitewashed. She's too old not to know. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm on my period, so everyone is annoying me. And someone else commented on that, was like, I don't, and it says like a dash, the clowniest ish. We need to bring back shame because ain't no way I would admit to something like this. And I feel like it frustrates me because I feel like YouTube is like my safe space. And now I'm realizing that there's like no safe space. I feel like I woke up this morning after I read these. I was like, I don't want to do Vlogmas. I don't want to like post like as much as I do, like 3 days a week. And this is why I feel like a lot of creators go ghost. Like, I don't know if you see like when people like get larger, they just kind of like post less. And it's because like you get so much criticism that you get to a point where you're just like, this is not normal for me to take in this amount of criticism. And like the more vulnerable I am, the more people like just cut me down. And part of me doesn't even want to like say something and like share my feelings on this because I just don't want it to be picked apart. But I feel like it's so frustrating to me because no one is like getting more views by sharing books by Black authors. Like literally no one, because half the freaking population does not even want to read books by Black authors. Like people in my, like, go check like my biggest shorts or TikToks, like the ones that have like blown up, like with books by Black authors. Like people are saying like, you're racist. Like, why are you doing this? Like, people feel like because I'm creating a space that specifically focuses on Black people, that because it's excluding other people, that it's like not okay. And like, I never share the negative parts of like social media or what people say, but I think this is like, feels so close to like me because I know it's people who've watched like hour-long videos of me like sharing my thoughts and feelings. And again, like this feels like very safe space, like this and my podcast, because it's like longer form. But like, it's frustrating when someone's like, oh, like she says like she is like learning from the past and like she is whitewashed because she doesn't know the history. Like, I'm well aware of the history of Black people, of slaves, of like so many different atrocities that have happened in like my lifetime and way like in the past. But I feel like all of us can learn, and all of us have like so many people that we have never heard about before, because like no one knows every single slave, or no one knows every single Black person who existed on this planet. Like, and I feel like reading fiction has opened my eyes so much more, that there are stories that like the history books only glossed over that I want to read a full 400 pages about. And like, again, I've had like, you know, classes in college and classes in high school and like lots of different classes about Black history, but it's different when it's coming from someone who's done extensive research on like one specific topic. And like, if you don't like my channel, like I just don't understand why people would like want to be here. And if they don't want to be here, like if you don't like it, like I don't understand why people would just like not. Just like, if someone's like, hey, who are some good Black booktubers? And you say like the 5 that you like, just say the 5 that you like. Like, you don't have to like, be like, I hate this person, this person, this person. Cause like, I don't know. It just is making me, and maybe I won't even post this. Like, I think it's just like making me so emotional because I have been so jaded to feel like this space is very safe. Like, I come in here like, with my bonnet, like in my bedroom, in my robe, like in my bed, like it just feels very like very safe to like open up and like be vulnerable. And you guys know I like really struggle to just be vulnerable in general. Like I don't cry like a lot on my channel or like share a ton of like deeper feelings, and I feel like this is just like so frustrating. Like when people are like, oh, she's only read, like she hasn't read the 3 Alexandria House books on her TBR. Like, how many books have you not read on your TBR? Like, I've read 2 books by Alexandria House. Like, is the 2 that I read not enough? Like, no one is giving out trophies for people sharing books by Black authors. And I'm not asking for one, but I'm just trying to fill a gap that I've seen, which is like, when I look for content, like, more books by Black authors, like I just don't find it myself. And so like I try to share specific videos for that, but there's tons of Black creators or just creators in general who don't do that. That's fine. Like no one's faulting them. Like you are more than welcome to create your channel how you want it to be. But I guess I feel like focusing specifically on diverse authors, especially authors that don't get enough hype, has been something that's like been really important to me, because like, how are they gonna get the recognition if like no one sees them? And like, I feel like I have such a like large platform where like I can do that, but it just like really frustrates me when people see my intentions in a way that I am like not like intending my actions to be. And it also is so frustrating like when people are like, oh, you're whitewashed. Like, to me, if you're calling me whitewashed, what is your version of a Black woman? Because I have 2 Black parents, I have 2 Black grandparents. Like, if I am whitewashed, like, is your version of a Black woman too small? Like, is your view of a Black woman too small? Because Like, I've shared many of my friends on my channel, white and black, like Filipino, just like freaking everyone under the sun. Do I share everyone on my channel? No, because like everyone's not comfortable being on my channel. Like, I think I shared like my mom for the first time on my channel this year. Like, I just don't share everyone who's not comfortable. And you guys have met so many of my friends, but also like I shouldn't have to share people in any capacity for you to feel like I am like enough for you. It just like, it's just so frustrating. And like, I just woke up this morning, was like, just like scrolling, and now I'm just like, I just don't want to like post anything, say anything. It's just like very defeating. And sometimes I think like about how like, will I be able to do this forever? Like, I just, you know, I switched my career like 3 years ago, but like, you know, I was in healthcare and like love my job, and like now I'm just like, I love what I do, but like the people who are mean, like people can say just like brush it off. But like when you get it every single day, and like when people say stuff all the time, and then you're supposed to let it go, like it sits there in your mind, and you have to like actively work to like let those things go, truth or not, you know? And like, obviously if you're not online, you don't get that. Like, you don't have to deal with that. So, and of course there's just like a million and one other things in my life that are going on that I don't share on this channel. And like, I don't have to, because it's like my channel. I can obviously share like whatever, but like, I don't even know if I'll share this. And it like this Saturday, I'm like going to hang out with my friend Ebony, and like she's been on this channel before in the past, and like we always have so much fun. But now it's like, I want to keep those things close to me. Like, I want to like not taint my experiences like with friends or like whoever for like someone to pick apart. Like, I don't want someone to like freaking scream grab my face right now and like put it on a forum somewhere and just like berate me and like talk about me and stuff. Like this is literally why you see people like choose to go ghost on the internet and like stop sharing like when they get to a certain point, because it gets very difficult. And again, these are not like the biggest of worries of mine. Like, I was texting my friend about it this morning, and like I was telling her, and we were just like, whatever, like people are dumb, and like moved on, you know. But like, I have to like pick up my camera and like continue to share what I know that like people will pick apart things that I say. And I know they're silent like viewers, like so many of you guys like listen to like my podcast and like, you know, watch my content and stuff, and you silently like cheer me on, and like I love that. Like, it truly means the world to me. But the ones who aren't silent, it's like they ruin it for everybody. And like, it's just like, that can be very difficult to hear on a daily basis when it's like things that hit close to what people could feel is truth, even though it's not. Like that girl who's like, you know, can you give me recommendations? She doesn't know me. And like, people are saying all these things and like, watch out for her. Like, she's performative, she's fake, like she's, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever. It's just annoying. And again, I know by tomorrow, even honestly later today, I'll probably be fine. It just makes it hard for me to pick up a camera and like be able to be unfiltered. And I feel like this is why people stop being unfiltered, and they stop sharing, and they stop being vulnerable, and they just like show you the bare minimum, like wake up in the morning, read their book, like have like cute little like, you know, overlay of like music and stuff. And it's like, well, this book was this rating, and like move on. Like, I try so hard to share like my perspective on books, like how it connects to my life. Like, I share like me at the gym and getting groceries, and like, you know, what I've been eating for the week, and like my family and how I'm dealing with grief, and like, you know, just so many different things, and it just makes it scary to like continue to share so vulnerably when, again, there will always be people who will talk about you no matter where you are. If I wasn't on the internet, there would be people who talk about me. But I think those people who talk about me, I don't have to hear it. I don't have to see it. But being on the internet, you are just so unable to run from it. And it just like gets very difficult. So anyway, I'm going to read this book and not invalidate my feelings, because again, it's very easy for me to invalidate my feelings and be like, suck it up, deal with it, like move on. One of you guys actually commented when I was talking about grief. Does not have to do with this, but I was saying I really struggle to feel how I feel a lot of the time, because I will start to cry or like get emotional, and like I'll tell myself like, you don't have time to cry, like you don't have time to like be emotional, like you need to like work or like be busy or like whatever. And when you guys said like don't do that, you're like, don't push it down, like let yourself feel vulnerable. But this is why a lot of the time I don't allow myself to be vulnerable, because the world will pick you apart and it's just gonna be very scary. But I appreciate those of you who are here because you actually enjoy being here, and not because you want to like hate watch my channel and like go and talk about me and like say whatever. But again, I'm just literally a girl who picked up a freaking phone, and then I got a camera, and then it became my job. Like, you know, I didn't even know that like influencers were a thing when I started doing this. Like, go back and look at my old videos. They're all on my channel still. Like, I just started doing it because I thought it was fun, and I don't know. I hope it always stays fun. I have quite the haul to show you guys, and honestly, retail therapy does work. Don't let anyone tell you wrong or tell you otherwise, because I'm pretty happy right now. I got a bunch of stuff from the bookstore, and then I also got some stuff from Target. I didn't really plan on going and getting stuff from Target, but it just happened. I feel like I have just been really wanting to like make, I don't know, my home feel really cozy. And I think now that it's like getting dark earlier, which is why I'm in my kitchen. One of you guys actually asked if I could like sit down in my living room more and like show books and stuff whenever I am like giving hauls. But this is really the only room in my house that is like super bright at this time of day. This is like end of the day. The other rooms get pretty dark because the lake is like right in front of me. So the other side is like, I don't know, it's just like the sun sets on this side. So this side of the house is like just not bright at all. But I ended up getting the candle Salt, and this is from the Hearth and Hand line. I love putting this on our coffee table, so I'm gonna put that over there whenever I get done chatting with you guys. I'm gonna try to see if there's gonna be time to go outside. It's definitely dark, but I've been trying to get outside each day. I get the winter blues like usually every year, but last year was the first year I didn't really get the winter blues. Or at least they like kind of were not as bad as like usual. And a large part of that was getting outside each day. So I'm gonna try to do that this year. I actually put up an episode on my podcast with just like a bunch of things to do to stay like out of the winter blues, if you guys wanna go listen to that. But it's like has I think 10 different tips, things that have helped me. I also got this candle. This is the Pompous candle. It smells incredible. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I just love candles. I feel like making my house cozy is like what puts me in a good mood, and it makes the reading experience even better. I also got 2 other candles. Target has some of the best candles, I feel like. They just, I don't know, smell really good and they're very strong. So I got 2 bathroom candles. Not me just like dropping this on the floor. I got this candle. This is the Golden Pumpkin Spice. And then I got the Autumn Spice Pumpkin. And these are both Glade candles. They are both gonna go in the bathroom. They're super strong and definitely smell like fall. And then I also got a book haul because I could not go to that independent bookstore and not get books. I'm gonna show you guys the kids' books that I got first. These are gonna go to our niece and nephew, and then I'm also meeting up with Ebony on Saturday, which I told you guys, and her son is coming with us, so I'm gonna give him a gift. I love hanging out with him. He's so cute and smart and just like fun to be around. I got Bluey's Search and Find book, and this would actually be a great Christmas gift. Like inside, there's all these little pictures and you just have to find the like things that are over here. I feel like these are the types of books that are fun to play with kids, and they actually last a lot longer than like a regular book. Like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the time, kids, if they read a book a few times, they'll be like, like I just don't like want to continue to read it over and over again, unless it's one they like really, really love. Whereas with this, you're not gonna remember where every single thing is on these pages, and it's kind of like a Where's Waldo just for Bluey. So I got that. I have actually never watched a full episode of Bluey. Granted, I don't have kids, but I've heard some people who don't have kids still love watching Bluey, so I might have to do that. I also got Countdown to Christmas. This is a brown baby parade book. It's very cute. It says it's 10 days till Christmas. A family prepares by putting up the tree, wrapping presents, baking delicious treats, and much more. Then I also got Corduroy. This is gonna be a book that is for our niece and nephew, and then this one is gonna be for Zoe, my friend Ebony's son. It's just like so cute, and I feel like there's so many Christmassy books, but like no one wants to read Christmas books when Christmas is over, you know? So the perfect time to read these books is literally right now. And I also had Corduroy as a kid, so I figured that Carter would really like this. That's our nephew, Brady's sister's son. Her and her husband, they have 3 kids, and we love hanging out with them. We hang out with them like literally every other weekend or every weekend. Like we're always over there. And then I got a candle from there. This is an Our Town Books candle. It smells incredible. This one smells, it says fresh bookish vibes and hints of antique pages. I can't even explain what it smells like. It just smells good. And then I, of course, got books for myself. I ended up getting 4 books, and all of these are books that I'm really excited to read. They're all very different and from different types of genres. So the first one that I got is Nothing Like the Movies. I know some of you guys have read this and said you didn't like it, and then some of you guys read it and said you were obsessed with it and you loved having more of the storyline of Wes, and I think her name's Liz. Yeah, and I read this, I want to say in 2021, like Better Than the Movies, and I really loved it. I thought it was super cute. And so I just wanted to get this to continue the series, or continue the story of theirs. I haven't read any of Lynn Painter's books since Better Than the Movies, because, I don't know, it's cutesy, it's fun, but just like a lot of the time whenever I'm going for a book, it's usually not like a young adult book. Even if I want something cutesy and fun, it's like usually just not young adult, but I really did love their story, so I want to continue with that. And then I also got This book, because I've never heard anyone talk about this book or seen it literally anywhere. It's called The Many Dates of Indigo by Amber D. Samuel. And it says, hair done, nails too, makeup flawless, Indigo Clark is an accompanied independent woman standing on the sidelines of her sister's third baby shower with her 30th birthday around the corner. Indigo is feeling the pressure about one thing she hasn't yet mastered, a healthy long-term relationship. As owner of Houston's hottest destination for luxury shoes and accessories, Indigo excels at finding clients the perfect shoe, but she's having a hard time finding a partner who's her perfect fit. That's a cute play on words. So she approaches her lackluster dating life the same way she does any challenges, with determination. Her books, her social calendar full of potential suitors. She needs a man who can handle her busy life, get along with her big and boisterous family, and mesh with her tight-knit friends, including Tate, her childhood bestie. While one guy is great on paper and another sets off sparks, neither are Mr. Right, and her drive to find him begins to interfere with the things and people she values most. Can Indigo let go of past hurts and unrealistic expectations and finally admit to herself that her perfect man has been in front of her the whole time? While I was reading the back of this book, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be Tate. It's gonna be Tate. Like, Tate is gonna be the guy. I love books like that. I freaking love books like that. Oh my gosh, I love books like that. I am really excited to read that one. And then I also got The Girl Who Sang. It's a Holocaust memoir of hope and survival. I recently read a book that was like a historical graphic novel, I think a month or two ago, and I really loved it. So I wanted to read more books like this, and this just looks like a good one. I've never heard of anyone talk about this one. I'll link all these books below, as I always do. And then one of you guys actually recommended this book, so I picked it up. It's called The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. This was a book that the bookstore owner, who's super sweet by the way, if you see any of these books and you want to buy them, go and shop with Our Town Books. Like, she's just such a sweet bookstore owner. She actually had her 8-month-old son in there, and I was like, oh my God, like, he's so like fresh, like he's new. And she's like, yeah, like, but I own the bookstore, so like I gotta be here. And she's like, I wouldn't recommend like being here every day, but like I have to be here. But bookstores, especially small bookstores in very small towns, she's in Jacksonville, which is a town have barely like any people. Like, it's so tiny. They like need your support. So they're about 45 minutes from me, but I've been loving to go to them for years. This says a 4-year-old girl goes missing from the blueberry fields of Maine, sparking a tragic mystery that haunts the survivors, unravels a family, and remains unsolved for nearly 50 years. And I think that this is about Indigenous people, but it also says that this is for readers of The Vanishing Half and Women of Light. This show-stopping debut by a vibrant new voice in fiction is a riveting novel about the search for truth, the shadow of trauma, and the persistence of love across time. It just looks really good. Also, the pages, they have the little fraying of like the edges, which I think is so pretty. So yeah, that's everything that I got. And she also gave me this little book that they have. It's a Our Town Books like pamphlet thing, and it has all these different books on the inside, and there's a 20% off coupon on the back. And if I buy like another book from them before January 31st, I can get 20% off. So I love that they've also put this book on the front, because I loved reading this book. So yeah, anyway, I love doing that little haul. I definitely feel so much better than I did. I think working out always just puts me in a good mood, which is why genuinely I work out every single day. I feel like a new person after I work out. The endorphins that I get is just incredible. I don't know if I'm gonna go outside today or not. It's getting so dark, and it's also really chilly. But I did end up starting another book and taking a break from the one I was reading, because I just felt like I needed a pick-me-up, which I also think helped. This is the book I ended up starting because I needed a pick-me-up, and it gave me exactly what I needed. I'm almost done with it. You can see there's not much left. I think I'm on chapter 53. I just know myself so well, and I know that books always put me into a good headspace if I'm reading the right book. The other book is incredible. I'm still loving it so far, and I already know that it's at least gonna be 4 stars, but it definitely talks about like deeper topics in the book as well, and like hardships hardships that he's going through. So I just needed like a little mini break from that, just because obviously I was kind of down bad. But this book definitely has given me the pick-me-up that I need. I actually read the other Christmas book from this author and really enjoyed it. This one is about a girl whose boyfriend is like, hey, let's take a break. And she's like, are we breaking up? And he's like, no, let's just take a break. Like, we just need a break. I need to see like other things. And so she ends up having to go out of town with her family for Christmas to this like little Christmas-y town. And while she's there, she meets this guy who is so sweet, and it kind of makes her like think about like, does she want to be with her boyfriend or not? And she's kind of like, I feel like this is the perfect book for young adults, because she is someone who's kind of being like, not desperate, but like, you know how in high school, like if a guy's like, I don't know if I want to be with you, like, I feel like most people, not most people, me, I was like, you don't want to be with me? Like you know what I mean? Like I would just take it like so personally, and like, I feel like this shows that so well in the story. Like she is just like calling him all the time, like, you know, just wants to FaceTime all the time, like, and he's not answering. And every time that she gets service, because there's not a ton of service in her town, every time she gets service, she's trying to like find him and like see what he's doing and like call him and text him and stuff. And like, he's always on her mind. And so this book is kind of teaching the reader that it's important to have your own life outside of the person that you're with, but also not to let people like just run you around. And, so anyway, her boyfriend, he ends up being like, actually, I want to take a break. And she's like, well, like, are we going to see other people or not? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, you don't know? Like, so it's a really good book so far. I'm really loving it. It's definitely long. I feel like it could be a tad shorter, but I'm still eating up every single page because I feel like this is just what I needed right now. I also want to show you guys the lamp that I got from the antique store. I don't know if you guys can really see it fully, but it is such a beautiful lamp. Like the back end side is so pretty and unique. And I love getting like unique pieces like this, just because I feel like it's such a nice accent piece whenever people come over. But yeah, this is gonna be in the front right next to the record player. I just got done with the best workout. Like, it was so good. I feel like workouts like the one I just had give me so much energy, and they just like make me really excited for the weekend, because obviously it's Friday. I also think that I'm gonna go and fill up some free little libraries, because I feel like when we do good, it kind of cancels out the bad that other people do. And I don't know, I just have been thinking like a lot about how people can be so mean, but like it is so important for us to be kind. And I think that like if we do kind things, other people will like kind of pick up on the cycle, and then they'll be like, oh, like someone did this thing, I also want to do this thing. Kind of like when you pay for someone's drink in like a line at a like fast food place or something, and then like they pay for the person behind them and so on. I feel like kindness is almost contagious. So I really want to go drop off these books into a free library and just do something kind for someone else. I feel like if someone sees that, maybe they'll continue the chain of kindness. And I don't know, maybe that's me being like too optimistic, but I don't know, I just feel like we can easily like stop being kind because people are mean, and it can like, I don't know, crush our spirit a little bit. Or we can like up the ante. You know, it's like if you have a coworker at your job who's just like absolutely insufferable, and they're like always negative, always like, you know, in a bad mood, you could turn into them. You know, like you could start gossiping, you could start like, you know, being in a bad mood because they're in a bad mood. Or you can be like, okay, that's how they want to respond to like their day, and that's how they want to react. I can only choose like my actions, and I can only choose how I'm going to like live my life, and I can't change them. So like I'm gonna do the complete opposite. And so that's kind of like what I want to do today. I want to like focus on what I can control, and I can only control my own actions. So we're gonna do something nice for the kids who are at the high school. Like that's where I put the free library like books. There's like a food pantry, and I think I'm also gonna drop off some food in the food pantry, because I always forget to do that. I always take books, but I just forget to take the stuff to the food pantry. So we're gonna do that. I did want to give you guys an update on this book. This is so good. I'm 133 pages in this and I'm really enjoying it so far. I did end up finishing the other book that I had. Let me grab it. This one is, again, the second book I've read by this author and I really loved it. I feel like this is one I will definitely recommend for Christmas. It was a little long, but still so worth it. And I honestly kind of like this one even better than like the other book that I read. I forget, like Love You, what's it called? Something Winter Wonderland, like Love in a Winter Wonderland, I think. I think I like this one even a little bit better than the other one. So I definitely am going to recommend this for Christmas. Again, it is a longer read, so keep that in mind. If you're not someone who really likes long books, like maybe it won't be for you, but I really did enjoy it. It had so many deeper themes outside of just like the Christmassy vibe. This book right here, I think I thought just like it was gonna immediately go into like spice, just because a lot of books I feel like kind of hop right into the spice, but I'm 133 pages in and they have a ways to go until they're like even like connecting like that, which I love. Like I literally love that. I eat it up every single time. Like give me a book where the characters like are kind of irritated with each other and then they kind of like start to have feelings for each other and it's like a slow progression. I eat it up every single time. Either that or like a friends to lovers, but they're like true friends. Like they're not like thinking about being together in any capacity. And then like one day like light bulbs switch in their brain. Like they're all of a sudden just like want to be together. I love books like that. But give me the slow progression, like a slow burn or just like that slow, like getting to know each other phase in a book, and this is definitely giving that. So the main character in this, her name is Torin. I actually thought it was this girl. I think her name's Raquel, her sister. It starts out with him like connecting with Raquel and like meeting her, and she's like bubbly and happy and stuff, and he's like grumpy. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be like the love interest. I didn't read the back like recently, so I didn't even really know what it was about, and I just thought that was gonna be the love interest. No, it's the sister, and the sister is a boss. Like she's got her own business. Like she is like a little bit more guarded than her sister. And it's really good so far. I'm really loving this so much. I already have the second book in this series because there's 2 books. I already have the second book in my like Amazon cart. And I'm just like so excited to read it. I cannot wait. I am gonna look at bookshop.org first, or like Book Outlet, because again, I love supporting indie bookstores like with bookshop.org, but a lot of indie, like, or a lot of online book sellers don't have books by Black authors, especially if they're not like super hyped up. Like I recently did an Amazon video where I shared like lots of books that I like picked up. And like it happens pretty frequently where someone's usually like, hey, like you should try shopping like somewhere else first. But for me, I feel like you can do both in tandem and they can both be okay. Like you can shop at indie bookstores and you can also shop on Amazon, and you can also shop at bookshop.org to support those bookstores, and you can also shop at Black owned businesses. Like I do think that there are so many people who, especially who are getting into reading and they're not like really trying to spend $20 on a book, getting them into reading by reading a book that is one that they're going to really connect with. That one is probably not going to be at a lot of other booksellers. And 2 is at like a affordable price. I feel like that is like someone's intro, you know? So it's like they're going to get into reading, get excited, and then they can be like more willing to maybe go into a bookstore and like, you know, pay a little bit more or just like be more immersed in the book world. But again, there are some authors that are not like, you cannot find them unless they're in an indie bookstore. You cannot find them like anywhere else. So that's one thing that I do love about Amazon. I love how they always have like options from authors that aren't super hyped up and, you know, only have like a few reviews or whatever. But this book is really good. I am eating it up. I am almost kind of sad that I took a break from it because I feel like I definitely would have been finished with it today. But I think taking the break to read this instead was helpful because I needed to like get into a better headspace, and now I'm in that. I'm just feeling very like happy and like positive and stuff. I'm gonna go to drop off those books, and I think I might also go to the park too for a little bit. I definitely like want to read for a little bit, so Anyway, let's head out. I actually cannot get over how much I've been laughing out loud while reading this book. And those are the types of books that I just like absolutely love. I was just saying in like one of my last vlogs that I feel like I was kind of falling into, not a book slump, but like getting close, you know, and I've never been in one, but I know what it feels like to like get close, where I'm just like, this book is kind of like whatever, like I'm just ready for it to be over to get to the next one. And this is one of those books that I do not want to be over, because I love both of the characters so honestly. I love all the characters so much, not even just like the two main characters. Like every character in this feels very real, and I definitely will be reading the second book in this little series. I also feel like Brianna Dene writes so similarly to Danielle Allen and Natasha Bishop, just like very easy, funny, just so good. I definitely feel like if I had just kept reading this and hadn't like stopped to read the other Christmassy book, I would have finished this in literally a day, because it's that good. And now I want to go through the rest of her books and see what other books that she has that like I would definitely want to pick up. I've heard a lot about this book specifically, so this one was easy to find, but I need someone to recommend a book by her that they love that isn't this specific one or the other book in the series. I just feel like she's going to become one of my new favorite authors. Like just the way she writes is so like easy to read. Like I don't know. And not that like easy to read books are the only thing that I look for in a romance, but it's definitely like a top priority for me, because I want reading to be fun. There are times where I want to read something that's like, you know, very lyrical or like intellectual, like whatever, but like that's very rare, like very few and far between, because life is hard enough as it is. And so like I just want something to be light, something to be fun. And even if the topics are heavy, that's different than if the like writing is heavy, you know what I mean? Like, or the writing is hard to read, which this is not at all. It also has like, it's the same size as like the Chestnut Springs, like the, you know, all the books that are being published like in Barnes these days, I feel like are that like smaller size, like the books by Lauren Asher, like the Dreamland Billionaire series, like all those books are kind of like they're small and thick. This one is like small, but it's not necessarily thick. Like it's like 400 and something pages, I think, but it's not like really thick. So it's super easy to read. Tons of dialogue. I'm loving it. This is a fun read so far. Not fun in the sense of the content. Like there's definitely some like heavy topics that they talk about, but fun in the sense of it being very enjoyable to read and easy to read, which is what I absolutely love. This is going to be a book that I recommend to new readers, but I also recommend to people who have not read any of her writing before, because you will literally finish it in a day and you'll be entertained. But also, like, I feel like it's very rare, not making me like, and also, and again, but it's rare for me to find books that have a mix between depth and also like humor. Like this book mixes that so perfectly, and it's just hard to find that. Like, I feel like you usually find like rom-com-y, like funny books, or you find books that like make you cry and they're like deep and stuff. And this one is kind of like a mix of both, which I really love, and I feel like it's going to become like what I gravitate towards most, just because the balance is nice. Like, because sometimes I'll be in the mood for like a deep heartfelt book where I'm gonna like cry, and another like time I'll be in the mood for a rom-com, but I might be in the mood for one of those things on a Tuesday, and the next day I'm in the mood for something else. So having a book like this allows me to have both those moods and like get both those moods satisfied, because it has like both things in it. So yeah, really loving this. I feel like I'm gonna finish this. I've gotten like really far into it, and it is a breeze to read. I'm making a roast for dinner tonight, and since we've been eating differently, we haven't been eating potatoes, and I decided to put cauliflower into the roast instead of putting potatoes in there. And I did this last time. One of the best decisions I've ever made, because cauliflower, I feel like potatoes sometimes when you eat them, they're good, but like they make you feel so like, just like, you know what I mean? Like after you get done eating, you just feel like you need to take a nap. And one thing that I've been loving about like since we've changed like what we've been eating is that when we eat food, we actually feel energized after we're done eating versus like feeling tired. And I also feel like a lot of the grains and stuff that we were eating, they're good, obviously, like there's nothing bad about them, but I feel like whenever we would eat them, we would get like our stomach was full because it was like bloated, not full because we were like satiated, is that the word? And now I feel like I better understand my hunger cues like just so well. Like I feel like in the past I would get hungry because it was like dinner time. It's like, oh, it's time to eat. Like you need to put food in your body. And now I will feel hungry at just like the most random times of day, but also at dinner. Like it doesn't matter the time. Like it could be 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. Like at certain times of the day, sometimes I'm just like full. But I also eat, I try to eat like 5 times a day. And by 5 times, I mean like small snacks. So like for breakfast, I usually get a hard-boiled egg, and then I will eat usually like 3 pieces of sausage, which is like 9 grams of protein, and then each egg is like 6 grams of protein, and then usually have like a cup of milk for breakfast. And then after I get done with my workout, I'll come back. I usually get a snack. I usually get 2 more eggs. Honestly, I just hope there never comes a day where I'm like tired of eating eggs, because eggs are such a great like source of protein, and they're also like really easy to just like throw in your mouth, because I usually have mine hard boiled, so I just eat it in like 3 bites. So that for me gives me like my morning snack and my like breakfast. And usually by breakfast being like, usually breakfast is like around 30 grams of protein, and then I'll get my snack. And usually, sometimes I'll grab a cup of milk, sometimes I won't. And then when lunch comes around, like today, I had 2 over easy eggs on top of a burger. No bun, or no bun, no sauces or anything. It was literally just like the patty that I made, and I made it last night from some ground beef that I got from like the Apple Barn. And then I, for dinner, am making this roast, and I'm putting cauliflower in it, carrots in it, and yeah, so like I'll probably have another snack a little bit later tonight. But it has just been so wild to see how my body is just loving the changes we've made. And again, I always want to say that like what I'm doing for my body might not be what someone else wants to do for theirs, but I've just like been trying lots of things like over my lifetime to see like what works for me, and I feel like this is the thing that has been the best. Also, better than anything has been cutting out sugar. It has taken me, because this has been about a month, like a full month. It'll be a full month in like 3 days that we've been like eating differently. And it has taken me, I'm not kidding, a full, like this full amount of time for me to not have sugar cravings. Like I would used to wake up and be like, oh my God, like I want sugar. And I was never someone who felt like I needed to eat sugar. Like I would be like if someone asked me, are you a big snacker or do you eat a lot of sweets? I would be like, no, like I don't. But you don't realize all the sugar that is in everything. Like in 1 glass of milk, there are 11 grams of sugar in 1 8-ounce glass of milk. And like, I literally Googled like, how much should the average woman have it for like sugar? And like, I read that it's like 24 grams, like a day. Like we're all going well above that. And granted, could that be old data? For sure. But I just feel like I have just realized how shifting my, like, what I eat can truly change how I feel. Like, I feel so energized. I don't get that midday slump. I don't ever feel bloated. The only time I feel bloated is if I don't drink water. I also try to drink half a gallon of water a day, which, believe it or not, like, you probably think that that's super hard, but the more you get used to drinking water, the more you actually crave water. If you ask anyone about, like, me and my relationship with water, it was just non-existent. Like, I would probably drink, back in the day, like in college and stuff, I'd probably drink like 8 ounces a week. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm so serious. And now I cannot go a day without drinking at least 40 ounces of water. Like, I literally feel like I'm just like, oh my God, I need water. And whether I work out or not, and it's just because, like, my body, I can tell how it feels when I don't have it. And that's another thing, is like, when you become in tune with your body and how it feels, you can easily figure out, like, what you need and what you don't. Like, one of my friends, we went walking and she was saying how she, like, cut out gluten and how that's been, like, great for her, because she's like, I feel like I'm allergic to it. Like, I just get sick anytime that I have it. And I was also telling Brady the other night, I was like, I feel like I'm allergic to alcohol. I am actually allergic to buckwheat, like a very, very serious allergy. Like, my throat will close up if I have buckwheat. In Kind bars, it's 50% buckwheat. I'm trying to think what else has buckwheat. The Kodak pancakes, that has, like, it's from buckwheat. A lot of, like, more organic products have buckwheat in it instead of, like, having a different type of wheat. A lot of noodles have buckwheat in them, and also beer has buckwheat in it. And so I feel like there are traces of buckwheat in a lot of things that I didn't realize. And so even though my throat's not closing up, I feel like my body was reacting to it and I didn't realize what exactly it was. So now that I'm more in tune with my body, it has been just so great to see the difference and the shift in how I feel. Like, I feel so good. So again, I'm not telling anyone to go on the carnivore diet, because, again, for one, I hate calling anything a diet, because I want to continue to eat similarly to how I'm eating now. But we've added in, like, fruits and vegetables, and that has been so great. Not having grains has not been hard at all, just because, like, I feel like I would eat so much pasta or just, like, bread. And, like, you know when you go to a restaurant and you have, like, a couple rolls and then the dinner comes and you're like, dang, I'm full. Like, I actually had so many rolls that I can't even eat. But the thing is I feel like your body is almost just like, there's something in there that is, like, expanded enough where you feel, you're like, oh, I can't eat another thing. But the nutrients your body needs, it's not getting from just bread. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the changes we've made have been so, so nice. I feel like eventually we'll definitely add back in those things, but realizing what is actually going to help us feel full has just changed the game for me. So I think that I'm going to go outside and read because obviously the sun is about to go down, but I want to pick a new book. This is the book that I'm going to pick next. One of you guys actually recommended this to me and you said that you really enjoyed it, so figured that I would read this one. I literally got it, I can't even remember when I got it. It was just from one of you guys' comments. You said, like, please read this book. So I'm going to read it. I'm pretty sure that this one has is it a fake dating? I don't know. I literally can't even remember, but I kind of want to go into it blind, so maybe I won't read the back and I'll just give you guys, like, an update whenever I finish it. Before I go, I do want to open some packages. I already partially opened one because I thought I knew what it was, and I was correct, but I didn't fully open it because I wanted to open it with you guys, but I wanted to know exactly what it was first before getting it completely open. And guys, oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God, I have been waiting for this for so long. It's the Magnolia Parks series in the special edition. I could literally scream. These are beautiful, like, absolutely stunning. Look at this. This is the cover of one. This is the first one. The Magnolia Parks, and this is only Magnolia Parks Long Way Home, and Into the Dark. So it doesn't have any of the Daisy Hates books. They haven't done the special editions for those. I hope they do them eventually. Look at the inside. I already saw, like, the inside on Instagram, but I haven't seen it, like, in person. These are so pretty. Guys, I want to read this series again. This is one of my favorite series ever. Oh my gosh. Wow. I cannot wait to read this. I think when I reread this series, I think I'm gonna reread with the special editions, and I think I'm gonna annotate. I'm not a big annotator, but I feel like I wanna annotate this series. This is The Long Way Home. I have to show you guys these close up because you really cannot get like the true look and feel of how these are just by like being so far away. And then the last one, and also at the end of Into the Dark, she said that there's like something special at the end. Let's see. Oh my God, guys. Oh my gosh. I'll show you guys when we get in the kitchen what the inside says, but this is the front of Into the Dark, and this is the inside. It's so pretty. These are so stunning. So I got those, and then I also have Amazon box. These are actually some of the books that were supposed to be in the haul that I did just a few days ago, but they didn't get here in time. So I was like, I'll just open them in a vlog with you guys because there aren't too many books in here. So I picked up, what is this? Can't remember what exactly I got here. Oh, I got a reading light because mine died and I needed to get a new one. So this is the reading light. I don't know if you guys can even like really see that, but it's in the plastic. I gotta take it out. And then I got the Four Winds, which I wanna give this as a gift. And it's always sold out whenever I go to Barnes. So I've been trying to get my Christmas gifts, but I'm so behind because I really haven't gotten very many at all. And then I also got these two books. This is Give Me All of You by Takara. I've never read anything by Takara, but this is a book that is highly recommended. I saw this on TikTok. I always get so many recommendations on there. And it just looks really good. It's also a very short read, so I feel like I'll finish this super fast. It's only 155 pages. And I kind of feel like, should I read the back of these? No, both of the backs of these are really long. Maybe I will. Jaru Malone is a single mother who simply tries to make ends meet. The father of her 18-month-old daughter, Infinity, refuses to help take care simply because Jaru won't play by his rules. With the help of her best friend, Journey, and her bosses, Knazim and Knight, Richmond, she's able to provide a somewhat stable and comfortable environment for her daughter. That is until her child's father tries to get the upper hand on her situation, leaving her in shambles, not knowing which way to turn. I'm gonna leave it there. It looks like there's like a ton more stuff. And it obviously has like a romance in it, but there's like 3 more paragraphs. So, but it says at the end, like the last paragraph, it says, not knowing the outcome of what the universe has in store for them, these two couples navigate through every storm and obstacle in order to conserve solace in their lives. Will they get knocked down at every turn, or will they defy the odds that are thrown at them? And then I also picked up Bricks, and this is by Lakea. Never read anything by this author either, but I've heard great things on TikTok. And again, I feel like I read through these super fast. This is 131 pages. This says, Reagan is a dedicated nurse who's seen it all, but nothing prepared her for a suffocating co-parenting relationship with a man who symbolizes everything she despises. She finds herself haunted by the consequences of her choices and burdened by the struggles of maintaining a facade of happiness while concealing her inner turmoil. However, a chance encounter with a gunshot victim during her shift opens Reagan's eyes to the possibility of liberation from her oppressive reality. This looks so good. It said, and there's another paragraph, but I'll just skip to the bottom. It says, Bricks and Reagan are forced to confront the shadows of their past and the demons that threaten to consume them. As they navigate the intricate terrain of lust, loss, and the transformative power of choice, will the pair forge an everlasting bond, or will their decisions pave the way for a perilous path from which there is no escape? So that looks really good. And again, these were the other books that I got. I picked up the Four Winds because I want to give this as a gift. This was a 5-star read for me. I really read this and it got me into historical fiction. It was my first book by Kristen Hanna. So I wanted to read more, which is why I got so many historical fiction books in my last bookstore little haul. But yeah, these are the 3 books that I picked up, but I want to show you guys these books close up before we leave, or before I go to read. These are the books close up. It looks like they have like a marker on the inside, which I just absolutely love that. Beautiful on the inside. And then the back has like sparkles on there and a little quote. And then this one is similar, and then it has this on the inside. And then it also has a foreword that she's written like now, and so she's kind of telling her thoughts like after like everything went viral. And then this is on the back. And then this book, this is the one I was like literally gasping about, because once we get in to the book, there's a foreword, and she said that there's a little treat on the back. And I'm gonna show you guys what I saw. Yeah, you're gonna freak out. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize they had something at the back. Hold on, before I show you guys the thing that I saw, let's look at these. Oh, is this the same? I think it's this, is it the same? I don't know, I can't remember what it looked like. I feel like these maybe are the same ones. Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. They're beautiful though. But let me show you guys what I saw that literally made me freak out. Look at this. Look at that. Varley Hall coming soon. I'm literally shook. Like, I cannot wait for this. Oh my God, I'm so ready. Once upon a time, there was a boy and a girl who lived in London, and they loved each other very, very much. Oh my gosh, I am reading this today. Oh my God. Oh my God. So that's like that little back part that I was reading, it's like 2 pages long. Is that part of this? Oh my gosh, oh my God. You guys know that's like my favorite series, and the fact that there's something else coming, like I'm literally mind blown. It's wild that we probably won't have many more days like this where I can like sit outside, watch the sunset, and not be freezing cold. But one thing that I really want to continue to do, I did this last year, I want to do it again this year, is get outside every single day, because it kept me from getting into this like sad spiral during the winter. Like, I need sunlight, I need nature, and I feel like we all do. And just like, I mean, look at this, it is incredible, and it's completely empty at this park. And I feel like in the winter people just don't come outside, like, and in the summer like everyone wants to like walk and be out and about. But I feel like there's a lot of magic when it starts to get cool. You can see your breath, like there's different like, I don't know, not bugs, but like different animals and stuff outside that then would be out in the summer. And we just like miss it because we don't go outside. And again, like we are like, you know, mid-November, so we're about to get into like the colder months, especially in the Midwest, because it gets cold really fast. Like almost all the leaves are off the trees, like most of them already. And so it's coming, I know it. But instead of getting sad, I really want to like just be okay with the winter. but to be okay with it, I feel like I have to embrace it. So I'm gonna try to do that this year. Anyway, the reason why I picked up the camera is because I have finished the first little like section of this, and I'm on page 17. Now page 17 out of like a regular book is not a lot, but page 17 out of a novella, when you only have 133 pages, I mean, we're getting good at, like, not into the story, but like I have a gist of what it's about, and I didn't read the back, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. But both of these people in the front are actually pen pals. The girl's name is Mabel and the guy's name is Liam, and they're like made to be pen pals in high school, like by their teacher. Did not know that this was a high school romance, but surprisingly I'm liking it. I feel like I like high school romances when they're not YA books. And I don't know why that is. Maybe because YA books are just so like cutesy, and like I just haven't been in a YA mood lately. And maybe part of it is because my like high school experience did not feel like a lot of the young adult books. You know what I mean? It's like in young adult books, like their biggest worry is like, am I going to get a grade on this test that I want, you know? Which was definitely part of my experience. Like I definitely was nervous about that, but there were so many more things that I was stressed about, like friendships, boyfriends, not having boyfriends, getting a boyfriend, like not knowing what to do with them. Am I doing too much with them? Like all of the things. I had so many questions, and like, who do you ask, you know, because you don't want to ask your peers because you don't want to look like silly. You kind of, I feel like in high school you try to feel grown or act grown before you're even grown, but no one could tell me anything in high school. Honestly, when I got to be in my teens, I was like, oh yeah, I'm grown, like I'm a teen. But you just kind of realize that you don't know what you're doing, and I feel like a lot of high school books kind of get the like I don't know what I'm doing vibe, but it's more of like I don't know what I'm doing after high school, like where I'm going to go to college, like I don't know. And you kind of miss like the friendship breakups, the drama with like boyfriends or not having them or friends or whatever. Like there's a lot of angst and drama in high school, but a lot of like not knowing. And sometimes I feel like high school or YA books miss that a bit, and maybe it's because the people writing them, they want the books to be kind of like PG, you know, like so that like these younger kids can like read something that's pretty clean. But you also have to remember these like people in high school are going through just like a whole like shift in their emotions, and are also like dealing with real life stuff, like real hard things. Like when I think back to my high school experience, like it was so difficult, not the high school itself, but like the friendships, the relationships, like navigating all of that. Cause really it's your first time ever doing it on your own. Like when you're a kid, you know, your parents set up play dates for you. Like when you get to high school, it's like you're figuring out like if a friend gets an argument with you, are you going to talk to them about it, or are you going to cut them off? Or are you going to have like a confrontation? It's going to be like stressful, or are you going to just like, you know, pretend like nothing happened? Like you're really navigating things on your own for the first time, truly. And so I feel like I will like this book, even though it's like set in high school, or maybe it doesn't like just like continue in high school throughout the whole book, but so far it's in high school and I'm actually enjoying it so far. But I think it's because it's written as if they're like real adult people going through like real adult things. I am so glad that I ended up reading these this week. I finished Only for the Holidays, and this was my first read. Well, first read that I finished, because obviously I started the other book first, but this one was really cute. I definitely would recommend it for anyone who wants to get in the Christmas mood. Also, if you ever were like in high school and you kind of struggled to like feel wanted or loved, like this would be a really good book to like connect with, because I feel like the main character kind of learns that she is lovable on her own, like whether she has a boyfriend or not. This was just like a really cute read. I think I'm gonna rate this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really love the other book by this author as well, and I think I love this one a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure I rated the other one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I feel like this would be like a 3.8, but I just can't rate it higher than 3.5 because this one did feel a little bit longer, and I think it was longer than the other book that this author wrote. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then I read Keep You to Myself. This was probably my favorite read of this entire vlog, just because this book was everything that I love in a romance. It was kind of like slow burn vibes, very confident, independent woman, a guy who has to like break down her walls, like a guy who has his walls that need to be broken down. And I also really enjoy that it took a minute to like get to the spice between the two characters. Like this book is 371 pages, and like it took a good while, like about halfway through the book, to like really get them to even like connect like on a romantic level. So I really love that. It just wasn't insta-lovey, it didn't feel rushed, I just enjoyed it. I will say they both looked at each other and had like an instant attraction, but that to me is different than like when someone has like an insta-love where they're like, I need her, I love her so much, you know what I mean? It was never like that. I really love this, and again, this is the second book I've read by this author, and I will continue to read more because her writing is super easy to read and super fun. And then I read The Guy for Me. This one was cute. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna rate this one. Oh, I don't think I told you guys I'm gonna rate this one 4 stars. I don't think I told you what I'm gonna rate this one. I really love this one. It was definitely more spicy than I would normally look for in a book. And because it was short, I feel like the spice definitely took over a bit of the story. So I'm not really sure where I'm gonna land with this one, but it was fun. You guys will have to go check out my Goodreads to go see my ratings. I usually put up my ratings on Sundays for my Saturday vlogs, just because I don't want anyone seeing my ratings before the video goes up. You know what I mean? Like I want you to watch the video to like see if I like the book or not. And also like I try to write like 3 paragraphs per book, and that does take a little bit of time. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this one. I just don't know where I'm gonna land with the rating with this. I kind of went back and forth as to whether I wanted to rate this 4.5 or 4, because there wasn't really anything that like made it not be a 4.5, but there wasn't really anything that made it be a 4.5. You know what I mean? Like I feel like 4.5s to me are books that are like almost 5 stars. Like they're like basically everything for a 5-star criteria, but I just wouldn't want to read it again, which is like my 5-star criteria. It has to be a book that I like want to read again, that I want to annotate, that like that kind of thing. And this book, it was so good, but there just, I don't know, it just wasn't, it just didn't give that feel. But I very rarely rate books like super highly anyway, but I feel like a 4-star is like a good, really good rating. So I think I'm gonna keep it at that. I don't know, I might change it. When it's in Goodreads, it's in there for good. So when you guys see it in there, you guys can decide for yourselves, or you can figure out for yourselves what I ended up putting it at. But until I put it in there, you never know. I might change the rating to a 4.5. I don't know, I really did love this one. I also rated the, what was it? And Then Life Was Beautiful by Asia Monique, 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I was trying to decide like, well, what's the difference between this book and that book? And I think for me, the emotional depth of And Then Life Was Beautiful was a little bit there, like a little bit more than this one. But this one still had a lot of depth. Like they went through a lot, and like they really had to break down each other's walls. So I don't know. Maybe I will rate it 4.5. I don't know. I need to think on it. But by the time this video goes live, I think the ratings will be up probably on Sunday. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun for me to film, as always. Definitely some sad moments within it, and I've decided that I'm gonna leave in the little like bit of just sharing my feelings, just because I always want this to be a space where I'm honest and I'm open, even when it's scary, even when someone can use your vulnerability against you, and even when you kind of feel a little bit cringe for opening up. But I feel like the more vulnerable I am, the more it can empower someone else to also be vulnerable and share how they feel or what they're going through. And maybe you are going through a situation where people are bullying you, or people are calling you names, or just people are just being mean in general. And I just wanted you to know that like, that is not your story. Like if someone is saying things that you feel are absolutely not true, what someone says about you is not the end all be all of who you are. And I really had to ground myself in that this week, because I am used to people saying things on the internet, but I think it just hits hard when like someone's saying it from this specific community, because YouTube and my podcast to me are where I feel the most vulnerable and I feel the most myself. And I also feel like you guys really know me. I mean, if you're hanging out for like a full hour, like, you know me, like, so it just hits different. But I've had to really ground myself in the fact that I know myself. I love myself. I love who I am. I love my friends. I love my family. I love the town that I live in. I love the books that I read, and I just love who I am. And it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I can even say that, because if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know I have a long history with disordered eating, which again is why it's so triggering when someone like talks about my body. But I also have a very long history with just not wanting to wake up the next day. And I felt like that for most of high school and most of college, and I'm honestly very proud to say that I'm still here and I'm happy to be here now. And I feel like if high school me or if early college me had heard the things or read the things that people had said, I would have really spiraled and went to a place that was like really, really bad. But I've just changed my mindset so much and worked really hard to like kind of phase out everything that everyone else says and like think about like, who do I want to be and who do I think that I am? And I don't know, I feel like it's helped so much with my perspective on who I am and just my perspective on life in general. So anyway, yeah, that was a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I love you all so much, and hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.